Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching the Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm going to tell you about the first video in video twin which I'm planning to do. So the next video will be coming out tomorrow, and the thing that I'm speaking about is character driven books and plot driven books. There are mostly these two types of stories that we see in all fiction books, and in order to consider a book as a character driven book or a plot driven book, there are some factors. So in order to distinguish them both, I've designed down certain points as a reader of my taste, and I'm going to tell you guys about them in these two videos. So the first of these two is going to be character driven books, and I've chosen an example book for that. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. The book that I've chosen in order to explain certain points which I consider for a character driven book is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Now, there is a plot to this book, but the plot is not at all the main focus throughout the story, and it is only the character that is the main character of the book, who's Asa, and she having OCD. That's the main point of this book. The OCD is not a plot of the story, it's just a part, but that is the thing which is very well dissected and explored in this book, and that's why I like this a lot, and I've chosen this an example. So let's just get into the points which I consider in order to treat a book as a character driven story. The first thing which makes a story character driven to me is the amount of time and depth that is given to each and every character in the book. Now, usually in plot driven stories, the main characters alone are developed in a very good way. That is the protagonist and the antagonist of the story, if there is any. But in character driven stories, each and every character or most of the characters are paid attention to, and they are developed in such a great way, and most of the characters are given muzzles, and they are fleshed out in a very proper way. For example, in this book Turtles All the Way Down, we get this character of the car, that is the car of the male character who's female character who's Asa, and the car, he is described as a male. That's why I described the car as he, and that's a very good thing to do, because she's a girl and the car is a guy as described by him. It's not like it is magical in any sense. It's just that the main character considers the car as a guy, and she treats the car like a best friend, and that's what, if you ask, is a character driven story. The next thing is that the plot is not that much of a focus. I can tell the example of this book itself again, because the plot of this book is that there is this huge multi-millionaire person who has gone missing, and Asa, who's the protagonist of the book, she had been friends with the son of this multi-millionaire guy while she was a child, and she's rejuvenating her friendship with the guy in order to dig in some information about his lost father, because her friend Daisy asks her to, because they are trying to find this guy, because as they can get a huge load of money as reward if they end up finding the millionaire. But I must say, though this is the plot of the book, it is not at all given importance in this book, and it is not even a matter, because the thing which is focused throughout is the OCD, and that is explained great, and the plot can just go down the drain. If you end up reading this, you will feel that, because the plot is not at all a thing which needs to be considered in this book, because the characters are the ones that are of most importance. The next thing that I'd like to say about a character driven book is that we spend a lot of time within the head of the main character or the characters in general. Now, this is mostly seen in young adult books. I'm not saying that all young adult books are character driven and all the adult books are plot driven, because we see the opposite things happening in both the categories, and I see this thing which is character driven stories being a lot in number in the young adult category, and a lot of plot driven stories in the adult category. This is because the main aim of young adult as a category is to resonate with the thoughts of the young readers who are reading them. That is, young adult is mostly targeted towards teenagers, and they have to connect with the teenagers in such a way. In order to do that, we have to spend a lot of time within the head of the characters, and it is mostly done in a very good way by many authors out there, and that's the main thing. You spend a lot of time within the head of the characters in the book rather than following the story as a plot. the last thing which I'd like to say about character driven books is the most important thing, and the most important reason why I like character driven stories more, because the main aim of these books or stories is not to present you with a great story or a great ending. The main aim of character driven books is to make you understand how a character feels, and from that understanding of a character in a book, you start empathizing for people who are like that. Empathizing in the sense, you just put yourself inside their shoes and see how you might react or how you might behave if you're put into situations like that. And that's what I look for in books, because not everything can happen to every person, not every good thing can happen, as well as not every bad thing can happen, but they can happen to a different character in a book, and that can be felt as a reader by anyone who reads it. And that's the thing which makes character driven stories more special for me in every aspect. So that's it for today. These are all my views in order to consider a story as a character driven story. And if you agree with me, do let me know in the comments below. And if you disagree with me, even then let me know in the comments below, because it's not that anyone is right in all the things that they do. There might even be some judgments in my mind based upon which I have said all these points. If you find anything of them to be not that relevant, do let me know. And if I end up changing my thoughts, I'll definitely let you know as well. And also, if you found this video enjoyable and interesting, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel, and also watch out for the twin video on plot driven books, which will be coming out tomorrow. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.